Welcome to Old Boy TV. We're gonna get the stream started in a moment. Chill out, get your drinks, smoke, whatever you like to do. We're gonna get started on these parlor tricks. These parlor tricks. What's going on? And make sure you share, like, subscribe, and share this video. Yeah. We're gonna get you the real news today. Welcome to Old Boy TV. We about to get into the real news. We got Rush the Truth in the house. And we're gonna get into this news. See what we got going on here.
All right, we've been waiting for it. In her first official interview since becoming the Democrat presidential nominee, Kamala Harris, promising a new way forward despite her role as vice president for the last 3.5 years.
And Harris is facing some criticism over having running mate Tim Walz by her side. But her campaign insists she will do a solo interview.
So the vice president defending her policy flip-flops on issues like the climate and the border while struggling to lay out her day one agenda.
First and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. When I look at the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people, I think that people are ready for a new way forward. Day one, it's going to be about, one, implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy. I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard, which include what we're going to do to bring down the cost of everyday goods, what we're going to do to invest in America's small businesses, what we're going to do to invest in families.
Kamala Harris, you're not talking about a god doggone thing.
No, she's talking.
You're doing a bunch of mumbo jumbo. You ain't doing no talking.
No,
she's talking about what she gonna do. What have you done? You haven't done anything. Like, this woman is a joke.
Hey, can you hear me on here?
A bunch of blacks.
You can't hear me.
A bunch of liberal women. A bunch of old white women. A bunch of gay. Let me hold up on that. LB, ABC, the ABC 1, 2, 3 group. And vote for this woman. They don't know they voting for their demise. Like, come on, man.
I made that clear on the debate stage in 2020 that I would not ban fracking. As vice president, I did not ban fracking. As president, I will not ban fracking. I believe it is very important that we take seriously what we must do to guard against what is a clear crisis in terms of the.
Why she gotta say so many words in between what she trying to explain? What we must do and all this. Just say what you trying to say. You're supposed to be a lawyer. I'm smarter than this woman. She's dumb. She's an idiot.
Can you hear me?
I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed. My value around what we need to do to secure our border, that value has not changed. I spent 2 terms as the Attorney General of California prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, violations of American laws regarding the illegal passage of guns, drugs, and human beings across our border. My values have not changed. So that is the reality of it.
So time out.
I mean, this is the question every politician gets.
Sure.
What are you going to do on day one? And I mean, I'm not just talking about the presidency. They have Senate candidates, congressional. What do you do on day one?
Right.
What she gave us was a dream.
Right.
Like, as if she had control of Congress. They had a bill ready for her on day one. Not what she plans on doing from a ceremonial standpoint. Those bills that they're going to sign once she's sworn in. And it just shows you when it comes to preparation. She's not prepared for even what she's going to do on day one. How can we trust a 4-year administration?
Yeah, Donald Trump was asked that question, and he had very clear answers of the executive orders that he would sign
Said it many
if he
times.
did that. And she also did not do a good job when Dana Bash went back and asked her and said, well, a lot of people will say, why haven't you done this already? You are the vice president. She didn't have a lot to say there. She also flip-flopped, you guys, on a very important.
Exactly. She talking about all the stuff she gonna do. You been the vice president for 3.5, 4 years. Why you ain't doing all the stuff right now? Talking about giving people $25,000 to get a house. Yeah, that $225,000 house is gonna be $250,000 now. I don't want no money. Listen, the government don't need to pump no more money into our economy. That's why inflation was high. It's come down. But the government needs to be smaller. It doesn't need to get bigger. The government is it's not economical. They don't know how to spend money.
Important topic, and for a very important state called Pennsylvania. Yeah. So here she is talking about fracking.
What she said, these are some of the things that we would refer to as flip-flops, but last night she referred to them as, you know what? I still have the same values. For instance, in 2019, and we played a moment ago.
What about this?
That soundbite, when she was running in the primary, she endorsed a nationwide ban on oil and gas fracking. We know that. Now, the campaign has come out and said she does not support a total ban on fracking. And then when it comes to the border, in 2019, when asked which candidates believe crossing the border without documentation should be a civil offense, Kamala Harris raised her hand. However, today, Kamala Harris's campaign, now that she's running for president, says quite simply, unauthorized border crossings are illegal. Essentially, with those two topics right there, I think we saw a preview of the presidential debate when it comes to fracking and when it comes to the border, because she was unequivocal last night. She said, as president, I will not ban fracking. And she talked a little bit about the Inflation Reduction Act, which she broke the tie in the Senate, actually expanded fracking leases. And then when it comes to the topic of the border, we've heard this a million times. She talked about how she, as president, would sign the bipartisan border bill once it got through the House and the Senate. And she told the story about how the former president saw that it would probably help Joe Biden and said, hey, guys, on the Republican side, let's not pass that.
Well,
Yeah, but if you dig into that bill, that bill is really about more money going to NGOs to make the processing of more illegals over the border quicker, so the press isn't seeing everything that's happening.
And the cap with the crossing is a fake cap. It's still catch and release as well. But back to the fracking thing, she doesn't explain the change of position. So, Madam Vice President, you cast that vote. Why did you do that? Is it just because you were vice president and you were carrying out what the commander-in-chief, Joe Biden, says? But, Madam President, Vice President, you're going to be in the chair, or at least you hope to be in the chair. So do you go back to your original position in 2019? That follow-up is critical because it's a difference when you're the vice president and you have to work, or a cabinet member, and you work within the system. Your job is to serve at the pleasure of the president. And it looks like that her positions, her gut instinct is to be much more progressive.
Yeah, no question. Well, you had Lara Trump on earlier in the show, and you got her reaction, so here that is.
It feels like Kamala Harris is running for junior class president versus president of the United States. You got no specifics whatsoever. And there was not a moment that I watched that interview and I, as an American citizen, felt confident that this is a person who understands the job of president of the United States, has a true plan of action to do anything for America.
Rush the truth. Go ahead and say something.
Right.
Can you hear me?
All right. So, yeah. Can you hear me? So, like, a lot of people have already stated.
Some technical difficulties here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep playing.
Finally got it situated.
Could negotiate with the world leaders on behalf of me as a citizen and this country. And I think it's kind of what we've come to expect from Kamala Harris.
Junior class president. Maybe that's why she was talking to the band class the other day at the high school.
Talking down to him, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think
they were kindergartners.
You got to figure they went to a school because he was a teacher and he was a coach and all that stuff. I will say this about Tim Walz. He's really good at smiling and nodding because we thought, if she got into a word.
Y'all want a high school football coach to run the country. Get out of here.
No, he wasn't even a coach.
Let's listen to Mr.
Kevin O'Leary here. See what he got to say.
Let's see here.
Let's listen to a billionaire. Somebody getting some real money.
Go ahead, Mr. Carroll. Let's see what you got to say.
Don't mess with the American dream. There's a reason people go through barbed wire to try and get in here. We don't want to set a policy up where they're trying to get out of America.
Let's go ahead and bring in Kevin O'Leary. He's the chairman of O'Leary Ventures and Shark Tank superstar and investor. Kevin, you're the perfect guy to have on this topic. I've been reading up on what you've said over the last couple of weeks about the proposals out of the Harris campaign. Let's start with one of her top economic issues, which is her proposed curbs to so-called price gouging. You say this has been tried as a policy in other countries. It has failed, every single time down the line, and there's no real way to get it implemented here in the United States, right?
No, there isn't. This is Soviet-style price control, which leads to inflation, supply shortages, very big problems in terms of competition in the market because you don't get competitors coming in when the government decides pricing. She was basing that off the idea of gouging under state laws like Texas. If there's a flood, there's a short period where they go after people that raise prices, but you can't do that nationally, and nobody wants it. I think it's a very populist idea, impossible to implement, would never pass Congress. So she seems to be throwing a lot of stuff at the wall. I understand why she's doing it. She's being encouraged by what she's seeing in the polling. But a lot of these proposals have not been scrutinized by you, reporters, on a one-on-one interview to actually understand how they'd be implemented. This is an incredibly bad idea, tried in the 70s in America. It doesn't work in Venezuela, North Korea, anywhere. It's un-American, and so everybody knows that. So I'm just wondering if how long she gets away. And I'm not saying she doesn't understand her strategy, but throwing this stuff at the wall and not being accountable for it is not how to run a campaign, I don't think.
Rush the truth. Unmute your mic.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Go ahead, say something.
Testing.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, Rush. Probably something on my end. I'll try to fix it. Let's keep
What about
Mr.
now?
O'Leary going here.
I think swing state voters smell it and they won't like it, and that could hurt her.
So I want to ask you about housing, one of her other big proposals. You say that her idea to build 3 million new homes in the U.S. is just a non-starter. Likewise, it's subsidizing, lower income first-time home buyers. The $25,000 is only going to cause inflation. Can you unravel that for us a bit?
Very simply, I'm in the real estate market. Many are. I'm an investor in real estate. It's a state mandate. So when you want to build a house in a state, you've got to get a permit. I don't know what state's going to give her a permit for 3 million homes. And so that's never going to happen. Secondly, the reason there's been so much inflation in housing is not just the market. It's the regulatory environment. California's a very good example. Half the cost of a house, 40 to 50%, is the cost of the regulatory hurdle to get the permit in the first place. So that has to be changed. Now, this idea of giving free money from a helicopter in an inflated market that's tight, where the
Jaeger, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear your audio.
I heard him.
You heard him?
Yeah.
Shit, all right. It's probably something on my side then. All right, hold on. Let me see. Hold on. I don't know why it ain't playing your audio. Can y'all hear the video and everything, no?
Yeah, we can hear the video.
Shit.
ask John if he can hear you. Or do you have it muted?
John, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think he can hear me, but I can't hear him.
He said, yeah.
I can't hear y'all. Why I can't hear y'all?
What about your headset?
I can hear what I'm hearing through the headset.
You don't have a setting turned off or something?
All right, I'm gonna start it over.